Hey YouTube, what's going on? Just wanted to bring a quick attention to the point of the video is that we got the March skin that we saw from like 1.4, which is like well over a year ago at this point, and it looked pretty good. It was a very cool skin, we know it already existed, and my main question is why it took so long. Also, not to mention the fact that it is locked behind the path of Prez. You can't use it on Hunt March and vice versa. It just sets a terrible precedent because it's going to inherently maybe kill hype for skins in the future because they're just locked behind a certain portion or a certain segment of the character that you're using if you don't want to use that. Because let's face it, path changes are going to be coming. They're on March. They're already on Trailblazer in 3 different variants. Going to be 4 coming into 3.0. And with everything that we've been hinted at with earlier on in the game and Amphorius being so diverse, being a year straight of story, things are going to change. It's going to happen to more characters. Now, if those characters receive skins, but you guessed it, they're locked behind a bad version or a bad path variant, there's no point in buying it. It's not good for the company, and obviously, it's not good for us. Not to mention, you can't free-to-play grind these. So, you'll see in the video that you're about to watch, the direct comparison that people were bringing to me was Arknights, and I do love Arknights. I think the way they do their system is borderline perfect, because you can free-to-play grind them, or you can spend money, and you can use it for pools instead, all that kind of thing. But yeah, you can't do that in a HOYOverse games. But anyway, I'm going to throw across to my initial reaction, which, yeah, look, I had mixed feelings. And hey, leave a like if you agree, leave a dislike if you disagree. And yeah, tell me why in the comments below. Also, Arknights fans, don't worry. We've got some content coming out for you guys soon. See you now. We need skins, man. We really do. But like, man, this is not the wave. This is not the wave. But hey, I still like Star Rail. I'm still hyped for 3.0. It's just a little bit of a bad note to end the stream on. It's gonna really have it would have been great. No, exactly right. If it was released way back, it would be fucking awesome. But they waited until she was beyond obsolete, which is even more of a weird decision. Oh, God. Oh, man. If it released with best? No, dude, if it was released fucking early, exactly. It was in the game in 1.4. Hold on. Let's actually bring this up. Let's talk about this. When was Honkai Star Rail 1.4 release? October 11th, 2023. So it took over a year to actually bring it into the game functionally. And at that, it's on the old version of March that no one uses anymore. It's on the Prez version. So it's like, hey, here's a free skin, but if you want to actually use it in game, you are going to have the worst time. You know what, like, here's the thing. I don't know much about game coding and stuff, but I can't imagine it's very hard to just make it universal to her character. I can't imagine it's that hard. And as much as I love this skin of March, it'd be cool to have a change, would it not? It's not unless you're the most spaghetti code, which, hey, it's HOYOverse. They might have some crazy stuff going on. And if you only can use it, yeah, it's just like, why, man? I don't know. And it's such a cool skin. Let me get the skin back up. I have right here. If I bring it back up, it's such a hype skin that we all know already exists, right? It's free as well, which again is a massive W. But my biggest issue is the fact that it's essentially class locked. It's class locked and there's such an L. Ah, man. Why? It's free calls on Press March? No, exactly, right? I wouldn't, not to try and paint HOYO in a bad light, they do that themselves enough, alright? But you know, or you have an inkling to believe that if they did have it on both versions of March, it would probably cost money. It probably would. I'm surprised as well that only released one skin, by the way. Amiya, same thing in Arknights, to be fair. Yeah, but to play devil's advocate with that, when did Amiya get her skin? When did Amiya get her baseline original form skin? When did that happen? From what I remember, it was pretty early into the game, right? I think the issue I am finding with this is purely the fact that this is over a year old. Even when this skin came into the game, March wasn't the greatest. And I get meta's one thing and waifu over meta's another and all that kind of stuff. But she's like, it's going to be reduced down to like an overworld skin, which is fine. I'm not mad at that. But in combat, which is, you know, kind of the part, because you get like different combat skins, different abilities, ults look different colors. It just seems a bit lackluster. The kind of is only preservation, not hunt. The whole designs aren't fitting for hunt much. I disagree. Like, yeah, sure, the color palette and everything leans towards the first skin, sure. But they're skins, you know what I mean? If you look at any gacha game in existence, you've got like the most hardcore general level leader female lieutenant. And her skins are her with her fucking chebs out, you know? I think the logic of trying to bind it to a color palette or to a version of a character is weird. It's so easy to give to people, and if you want a headcanon stuff, you can always just not run it on the other version, you know what I mean? But you should have a march would equip that skin in the quest story as well, but it's probably not the case. It might be. That would be interesting. You're trying just by putting it out. I know you're trying just by putting it out. I was just trying to draw a reference. I was just trying to draw a reference point. I think, especially for the fact that this skin is a year old, it sucks a lot of life out of it. At least for me. I don't know. Yeah, look at GFL2 skins, some that match. Exactly, and GFL2 is making a lot of money. You can go to Azalane. I mean, Azalane's kind of always been a Guna game. It's whatever. And again, if we want to go through the route of trying to bind it to a character arc or the type of character at the time, I guarantee when ZCZ comes out with skins, you're going to have Miyabi in a beach episode. You know what I mean? It's just overall for me, a weird selection. And I'm not trying to be a doomer. I'm just trying to be like, why give it to us? Especially the fact it's a year late. The fact it's a year late as well is like kind of strange. HOYO has some weird decision making to account for. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about it. Also, if this does go up on YouTube, because I don't know if it will, please let me know what you think. I think his skin in general is positive, but the way they executed it is a little bit weird. I feel like they probably could have given us 2 skins, one paid, one free, and the paid skin would be on someone like a Topaz, or like, you know, maybe really recently to be someone like a Jade or a... I'm blanking, like Herder skin or fruit when she comes out, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think overall, it's just, it's very, very weird. They could cheese by giving us free Press March skin and Hot March outfit. Yeah, they could have done many things. And that's another question that you brought up. That's a really, really good point. YouTube, hold on a minute, don't leave. They could also, in the future, path-lock skins. Again, that's a really, really good point. So if you path-lock a pay-to-win, oh, not pay-to-win, well, a paid skin of Hunt March, it won't work on Pres March. And with the way this game is going, if there's an MC skin, let's face it, it's probably going to be free, so it won't be a big deal. It would only work on one of these. And obviously going forward, we're going to get more path changes, whether it's to the Express crew or to currently existing characters that aren't part of the Express. They're also going to be path locked. So if you want it for the other version, you're cooked. You're beyond cooked. This sets a terrible precedent. It actually really, really does now that I think about it. Remember Kafka being hinted at having another path? Yeah, I do remember that as well. There was a lot of people talking about maybe path of Kafka is going to be different in the future. With the live stream that we did get for Inforius 2, there was, I don't want to say it was hints. Can I pull it up really quick? I'm going to be really, really, you know, in some issue to try and pull it up out of nowhere. But there was a little area here which looked like different paths. So it's kind of the overarching arc, I could say, or the overarching gimmick of the area. These look like they're probably going to be going through different arcs, you know? So maybe when we come to this area of the game, you're going to have a swap up in Dan Hung. You're going to have a swap up in the Himiko. Like, and if that is the case, when we do get skins, the skins are going to be bound to that exact path change. That's weird. That's weird. Not to mention as well, they're bringing more paths, because they said there's 2 paths right now. Which one of them was Erudition? Sorry, one of them in between like Erudition and Remembrance. And one is Remembrance, and there was one they didn't announce yet entirely. So there's more paths, which means more characters, which means old characters get more swaps. So, I don't know. This is kind of weird, but hey, I don't want to be a hater. I'm just making an observation. It could be good, and it might just be whatever. This is a one-off scenario. But HOYO, sort yourselves out. It's a little bit weird, okay? Following precedent doesn't mean it's good. Exactly. Does it though? Because other gacha games have been doing this for a while. Think Arknights, because Texas Techs are all two different classes. They have their own skins they can't share. You gotta understand the difference, dude. Like, you're comparing a Ford Fiesta to a Lamborghini. You gotta understand development costs of these games and the amount of money these games make and the amount of money it costs to create the games. You can't make 500 characters in this game. And we know already when we get the skins, they're going to be $35, $40. They're not going to be free to play grindable like they are in Arknights and that kind of thing. To compare games that are not of the same level of production, I think is not fair. Because this game is a year old and it's got 70 characters, right? 70 to 80 characters. And with the rate stuffs coming out, probably this time next year we'll have 10 skins. Maybe 10 skins. So it's going to take ages to accrue these skins. And on top of accruing these skins, if they're going to be on characters that have several paths, you might not even be able to use them depending on the way you build the character, which I just think is a terrible idea. HOYO skins once in a year to hype something up. Marketing thing is actually give them the player wants, and we actually do badly want skins. HOYO's approach feels detached from our needs. Exactly, yeah. So when we have the people who like to say, compare Arknights, compare Azalane, These games don't cost $100 million to make. And each patch doesn't cost tens of millions of dollars. These games do cost tens of millions of dollars to make each patch. So with that being said, we're going to get them less frequently. They're not going to be as pay-to-win friendly. They're not going to be as free-to-play friendly. And as we know from Genshin as well, you don't use Jade to buy these guys. You don't. You know what you use to buy the skins? You use Oneric Shards, or the Genshin equivalent. So it's also impossible to grind on a free-to-play basis. Whereas Arknights, you can get stuff through Originite, which you just get through grinding events and that kind of thing. So yeah, for the skins you got to pay for, you might not even buy them because they're locked to a certain version, you know? Yeah, I think that's just weird. I think that's just very, very weird. You're saying skins are more valuable in HSR, so if they're not shareable, it's bad. I'm not saying that. Okay, in the eyes of the fan, they're not more valuable. No. In the eyes of the production team, yes, they cost virtually nothing to make, but the game's frequency of updates and the game's amount of updates and new characters is much less frequent. Right? So that's why it's a problem, because Arknights busts out skins every update. We're on 3.0, we just got our first skin. So you just got to bear that in mind. You have a good 6-5 pulls? Congratulations, that's out there. Congrats. But let me have a look at this. Current amount of characters in Arknights. Here's the thing, you only bought up Arknights as an example. I know you did, but what I'm saying is, name a gacha game that costs $50 to $100 million to make, that doesn't release skins on a regular basis that isn't Genshin Impact. The only one that we can think of is Wuthering Waves, and they've only got 2 skins to reference, which Wuthering Waves doesn't have alternating paths. So it's fine with the way they did Jinshi, and it's fine the way they did Sanhua. I'm not trying to sound like I'm bitching, I just think it's terrible. And when you look at it like this, Global has 330 characters in Arknights. And if you want to look at HSR has like, when I go to Pride, like 70. Yeah, overall it's a bad idea. I bet skins. I'm arguing about the fact the skin is region locked. Well, not region locked, it's character locked. That's a terrible idea. Yeah. TLDR, we're rambling a lot. This is a bad idea. Let me know what you think in the description, in the comments below, because I would like to see them change it in the future. Hopefully it's a one-off basis because it is free. If that case, we can live with it. If not, it is what it is, I guess. All right. Bye, YouTube. I'll see you in the next one.